Hi there, welcome to today's Wednesday webinar. It is the first Wednesday of the month. It's the first Wednesday of August. How can it be August? That's the question. But today we're going to continue to look at volunteer toolkit updates, specifically at some of the badges and journeys, just in an overview format. And then next week and the week after we'll go into a little bit more depth. I'm hoping to actually tease apart some of the activities. We've got some training webinars that GSUSA set up for next week, which is, maybe 4 weeks later than I would have set them up, but at least they're thinking about it. So I'm going to be participating in those. And, if folks are interested, I'll see if I can invite volunteers to participate in them also, because it's possible that that's a thing that they'd be cool with. And if so, people could do that. So I will find out and let everybody know later. But just to recap, for anybody who hasn't learned yet, hasn't discovered yet, the Volunteer Toolkit has been updated as of July 18th. And you saw that first page looks pretty much the same, but there are a few things to let you know. Just reminders that any past year stuff, so any plans that were in last year, are now archived, and you're able to click on a little button that says See Past Years. We do have a couple of teen troops that we've heard from who aren't able to access that, and I turned that in as a ticket to GSUSA, and they replied to me yesterday that that is a known bug and they're working on it. So when that gets fixed, you will hear whoops of cheer from the greater Wyndham area, I believe. And if anybody else is also having that issue, oh, you're not seeing my screen. Oh, that's a shame. Thank you so much, Tammy, because just when I think that I've got this thing down, I don't. So you didn't see my earlier slides, but there was nothing fancy on them, no good pictures or anything. So this is probably the important one. Thank you for letting me know. So the See Past Years tab is there. And if you are not able to access past year plans, please do let me know, whatever age level girls you are working with. Another bug that I've heard about that I've reported to GSUSA and I haven't heard back from them yet on is some bridging troops. And the ones I've heard from have all been cadets bridging to seniors, and it's only been 3, but it's been 3. They're still seeing cadet materials instead of senior materials. If you are a bridging troop, if you have a bridging troop and you're not able to see the level of activities for what the girls are going into, do please let me know. So again, I can let GSUSA know, and we can either come to understand that you're not supposed to be able to see it, but my understanding was that you were supposed to be able to see the materials for the year coming up, the 2018 membership year starting October 1st. So please do let me know if you're bumping up against anything like that or anything else, because if you're bumping up against something else, I might be able to help you figure it out. So there's that. One of the things that we do know is that leaders and co-leaders need to be registered and have gone into MyGS to click active in their membership, renewing their role for the troop to be able to see that troop's volunteer toolkit and to be able to do stuff in it. So if they're listed as a parent, but they haven't renewed their direct primary role, their volunteer role, then they might be able to see stuff, but they wouldn't be able to edit. And as troop leaders, we want you to be able to edit. And brand new leaders, if you're a brand spanking new leader and you've registered for the 2017-18 membership year, you should have access to the VTK, the Volunteer Toolkit, for this coming year. And again, if anybody is hitting up against any bumps, please let me know. You can send me an email, dwalker-elders@gsmaine.org, or it might even be easier, learn, Learn, @gsmaine.org. They both come right to me, and I will do what I can to help you out. And I'm not going to worry about those asterisk things. These are the things that have been released this year or are about to be released. So all of this Daisy Browning Jr. stuff is in the Volunteer Toolkit right now. I was told yesterday evening, last night, that I now have access to PDFs. So I haven't pulled them up yet. It's been a hectic morning, but I will pull those up. And if people want to see the whole PDFs of the materials, I should be able to help you out with that. The cadet, senior, and ambassador materials we are promised that they're going to be out in the second half of the month. So when those come out, those are going to be, again, posted as PDFs on the Volunteer Toolkit. But I did learn recently that while they're only going up as PDFs for the Volunteer Toolkit this year, that will be the overall camp or outdoor journey for those cadets, seniors, and ambassadors. By next year, they're saying they'll have 7-session journey adventures in the VTK for those teen level troops. So just like the younger girls can pull in meeting plans and can select a journey and then it pre-populates with a certain number of sessions, those outdoor journeys are going to do that same thing next year, which, yay, that's wonderful. So something to look forward to. If you're thinking, well, this is a little late for us to start planning a big outdoor thing and you want to wait until next year, know that next summer that's a thing that's coming. So let's see, functionalities for program rollout. Other little update things. I just wanted to remind everybody that you can download things. Not everybody has Wi-Fi at their meeting places. And so I could see it being really easy for somebody to justify, well, just planning it at home because I've got Wi-Fi at home, rather than involving the girls in the planning because we don't have Wi-Fi at the facility. Well, you can download stuff so that everybody can look at it and everybody can really be making choices and then go to where Wi-Fi is to make those changes or make those corrections. So recognize the tools that you have. You can also print right from the Volunteer Toolkit, which is handy and dandy. And it says here you can add or change a troop photo of your troop. I would love to hear from people who are having success with this. On our demo troops, we haven't been able to get a photo to stick. It says that it's accepted it, but then they haven't come up. So if you out there have one of your troop photos on your on the banner of your Volunteer Toolkit, would you take a screenshot and send it to me just so I can see that somewhere out in the world it's really working? Because that'd be cool. And then also here you do have a troop roster, which is really handy. This doesn't look like any troop roster that yours is going to have beautiful names of little girls who you know, but it will be your accurate troop roster and you'll be able to print it. And when it prints, it'll have the girl's name, the parent's name, email, and phone number for you. So, a handy dandy roster like we are accustomed to having, whether you print it out or just save it as a PDF. Definitely a handy thing if you're going to be traveling. So let's take a look at it. And when I said take a look, I think, let's see, yay, I did make it. I made the slide a hyperlink so that we could get to this. So here we are at the Girl Scouts of Maine. And you remember, you go to the MyGS VTK tab and drop down to the Volunteer Toolkit, and it'll ask you to log in. I have all of my stuff saved into my computer, so it makes it an easy login for me. If you're able to do that, that's awesome. If you're using a public computer, obviously, you're not going to be able to do that. Then clicking on Volunteer Toolkit, and here we go. So I don't want to start with maybe I do. Let's start with the cadet troop. So you can see when we explore the year plan, it is a create your own year plan, but you don't have to go through, before you were having to go through the Daisy Browning Jr. level to get started, and you don't have to do that now. You can just create your own year plan. And you'll know that there aren't meetings that you can add. If I click add a meeting, it's not going to give me anything in our level. It's going to give the Daisy Browning Jr. And maybe you have a multi-level teen troop. Well, that's awesome. But all the materials that you can access through multi-level are Daisy Browning Jr., which is great if you have Daisy Browning Jr. But if you have cadets, there isn't any material yet for cadets, seniors, or ambassadors. And like I said before, that's coming the second half of this month. So what if you do have a cadet troop right now and your girls are itching to get some planning done? You can go to add activity. And this is kind of what you're going to have to do when that PDF is loaded. And you're going to create a custom activity. So maybe your cadet girls want to work on the Amaze journey. And it's going to be session 1. And if you're working right out of the leader guide, that we've had around for 10 years now. Can you believe it? Journeys have been around for 10 years. Then you would flip to your leader guide, and the girls and you would develop the activities for this activity, or the specifics for this activity, using that session 1 as a resource perhaps, and where you're going to have it, at the church, or at a meeting place, whatever your normal meeting place is, and with the address, school, street, and the date is going to be August 30th. And sure, 4 to 6 sounds great. The cost is 0. And then in the activity description is where the girls would help you develop what you're going to do. And you can create as detailed or as cryptic an activity description as you like in here, but this would be where you would create your meeting agenda, or maybe just the specific activities related to the journey and maybe not the rest of it, because you could put multiple activities in there. And then when you add the activity, it will show up on your year plan. And maybe I also want to, I don't know if any of the Compass stuff has gone in yet. Let's see if council activity, if I put in cadets, look at, oh, animal helpers. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to select this and register for it. And it takes me to where I can register the troop, except that for some reason it's down already. And it also added it to the troops calendar. So, handy and dandy on that. If I click on this, let's just see, I'm exploring. Look at it, tells us all about it, and tells us that it's free and where it is, and reminds me that if I want to register for it, I can follow here. And if I think it's still open and I get that screen that I got before, I can call the office and ask, is it still okay to register? Or I can email customer care and ask if it's still okay to register, and they'll help me. Then when I know that this is all set up for our troop, I can send an invitation. Look at that. And in the email, it's already preloaded with all the information that the parents are going to need, or any of our chaperones. And it's already selected to go to all the parents. If I want it to, maybe I've got troop volunteers who aren't parents, so I want to click that too. And maybe I also know that we've got a couple of other people going, a couple of experts who are going to be helping us. I can type in their email addresses too, so that they get this email. So kind of a handy little feature. And you see too, I can edit this. If I don't like the font, I could change the font. I can even change the color of the font. I can add stuff like, oh, everybody remember to bring your permission forms for our camping trip, or everybody remember to bring socks to donate to the local shelter, or whatever it is that we wanted to add to this meeting, this activity. I can add it into this email. So a handy feature. If, however, I'm working with, let's go with a junior troop, because I know that at least one person in the room has a junior troop. So we've got a junior troop, and this junior troop has already pre-selected. It looks like maybe they selected the outdoor journey. So, and that's great. So they've got the 2 initial ones, but look at, they've got the staying fit badges and the camper 1 badges, the savvy shopper, detective, and customer insights. Some interesting badges. And then you see these take action projects that were also added, and designing robots. Oh, animal habitats. So some fun stuff. The closing celebration, I'm going to move, because we don't want to do our closing celebration before we're done, right? So we're going to move it down here, and it reorders it so that that'll be the last thing. I'm also going to move some of those take action projects around, because we don't want to do the 3 take action projects right in a row. In fact, let's do one of those take action projects right after we've done the 2 camper badges. Go up, go up. Come on, friend. Oh, wasn't playing nice. Here it will. This time it'll work. And, oh, look at that. It really, I want 2. All right, I'm going to move one of them down. How about that? Because we know moving down worked. Let's take one and put it after the detective badge. And I'm going to bring the other detective badge down, so that we've got both of those detective badges kind of right in a row. There we go. Now let's move. Okay, we're going to try one more time. Whoop. Nope, it didn't want me to do that. It's going to let you because it has let me move things up in the past, but today it is having no time for me to do that. So that's fine. We all have our days, right? But say that the girls are like, that robotics, we've gone all the way through that. Robotics one was really fun. Let's do another robotics badge or something like that. Okay, let's go up here to add a meeting. And we're juniors, and we'll look at the badges, and I know it's STEM, so I'm just going to click on that. We'll view the meeting plans. And look, there's a designing robotics too, so I want to add that one. And then the girls and I will just look, what other STEM things are here? And they're like, we can't remember what we did last year. Ooh, here's programming robots. That sounds like it goes with it. Okay, let's click on those two. And add those. Oh, and look at what it said. Do you see how with each of these, it gives you just a brief overview of what it is, but it also tells you the category that it's in, and that it's also considered a badge that was added for 2017, 2018. So it helps you to know if it is one of the new badges. Maybe your girls have been go-getters and they've done a whole bunch of the past badges. And showcasing robots, that is a lot of robot badges for our junior level. But you know what's awesome? There are a number of robot competitions in the state of Maine. And there are a number of the robotics teams that are all boys. But when my daughter went as a part of the robotics team for Catherine McCauley 3 years ago now, yikes, time flies, theirs was the only all-girl team. So there were a number of teams that were co-ed, but there were a bunch of teams that were just boys, and there was one team that was all girls. And a Girl Scout troop could be one of those teams that goes and really represents, especially if it's a team that's done all 6 of these meetings, all 3 of these robotics badges for the junior level. So not saying you have to, I'm just saying if that's something that really grabs your girls by the socks, then take advantage of that interest and give them a couple of options for goals that they could have of a way to showcase their newfound expertise. And you saw I just moved the closing celebration back to the bottom so you could see it. Now, some folks might not want to have to dig around the volunteer toolkit to figure out what's available, and that's completely understandable. So another way you can do it, at least for the badges, is if you go to the Girl Scouts GSUSA website. So girlscouts.org, and here, I'll just show you how I got there. Girlscouts.org, and I clicked on 4 girls, and dun, dun, dun. I didn't click on 4 girls. I'm going to click one more place. Yes, I clicked on our program, and then you see right here, badges. So under badges is the Badge Explorer. I love this tool. This is a brand spanking new tool. It came out about a week ago, maybe a little bit more. And what you could do is you could put in the grade level. Maybe you're working with juniors. And maybe your juniors are interested in STEM stuff. Boom, it gives you those right there. But maybe your juniors are interested in outdoors. So it pulls up the outdoors ones. And isn't that funny? Oh, because it's got outdoors and STEM. I was going to say it kept some of the things that it had before. And, you get to see the overlap there of things that the girls might do in the outdoors and things that they might do with STEM. Maybe, no, they're really not that interested in STEM, so I clicked that one away, but they are really concerned about life skills. And so I've got that, and you see that added first aid, and it added one of the financial literacy badges and the independence badge. So it gives you can narrow it as much as you like, or you can keep it quite broad. And we can just get rid of life skills and outdoors and juniors, and it'll show us everything. And we've got that multi-level troop. And somebody was saying on Facebook that she didn't see where the new stuff was compared to the old stuff. And one of the things at the daisy level, it's very easy to see if you find yourself working with daisies, because the things that they added for the daisies, they added as flowers. So you've got your traditional petals and promise center, right? That makes the big daisy. And then you've got the financial literacy leaves that go on the stem of the girl's daisy. But then they've got these small flowers that can go around the daisy as well that are additional challenges. So like board game design. And then you click on it, and Tammy Fisher is the one who showed me this because I had not seen it. But you click on it, and it gives you the overview of what the badge is for, including the 3 points of the badge, the 3 main activities of the badge. So if you were to go to this through the volunteer toolkit, you would see how somebody had plotted out how you would do this, come up with an idea for your board game and design a spinner and test your game and make it better. Because somebody at GSUSA broke it down and said, if I were leading a troop of daisies, this is how I would achieve those 3 things for the board game design. But maybe you read those and you're like, oh, our girls can totally come up with an idea for a board game. In fact, we're going to have everybody bring in their favorite board game, and we're going to look at them, and everybody's going to talk about their favorite things about the board game and the things that they would change. And we're going to see if we can create a format that we like. Now for daisies, that might be hard. Second year daisies, it might be a little bit easier. Or if you've played board games with the girls a couple of times, so you have a sense of them, they might be able to do something like that. Designing a spinner, you might have 2 different designs or 3 different designs that the girls make with brads and little cardstock pointers or something else, so that they can design their own spinners, and then they can test them to see which one works the best. Maybe somebody comes in with with a bolt that has, the kind of bolt that's got the smooth neck before it has the threads again at the bottom, and a couple of nuts and a washer, and you can make a spinner that way. It might be a great opportunity for some parent who knows how to use that kind of stuff to come in and show them how that works. And then they create the point of the game and test it to see how they can make it better. And then when the girls have earned it, you can go right to the shop and order the badges. Look at that magic. Isn't it so much prettier when you see it embroidered? Well, it surprised me that it did that, but look, and it zooms right in. I like embroidery. It makes me happy. Anyway, I'll close out of that. So at the daisy level, that's how you tell the brand new ones, because they look different. At the brownie level, it's a little bit harder because they look the same. You may recognize that some are new, like this Leap Bot Design Challenge is a new one. But again, where all of the new ones this year have been either outdoors or STEM, if you put in STEM and outdoors, you will see the old ones, but you'll also see the new ones, and you'll be able to see how they relate to each other, because the new ones aren't in a vacuum. They go right with the old ones, right? So they can complement each other and build on each other. And this programming robots, Kirsten just found a Lego link that's on Facebook, or not on Facebook, on the World Wide Web, that's called Bricks by Bits, Bits by Bricks, something like that. But it's Legos and learning how to code using different colored Legos and zeros and ones, basically. And it would be really fun because you certainly could use the Lego blocks, but we were talking, you could use pony beads, and you could use all different kinds of things so that the girls could send each other messages. And I remember doing that with Morse code in my 4th grade Girl Scout troop, and we had a great time creating Morse code messages. And I think that would be something that might be fun for some kids. So lots of adventures and lots of opportunities to just play with this. And meanwhile, the girls are learning stuff that they don't even realize that they're learning. So Badge Explorer, which is on the Girl Scouts USA website, girlscouts.org, and make it right for your grade. Let's look at, just because we can, let's look at the cadet level. And I want to get rid of the brownies because I don't need them. And this shows us, just STEM and outdoors. Let's get rid of STEM and outdoors so we can see all of the cadet level badges. And just like with the brownies, they're the same shape as the old ones, so it will be hard to discern unless you type in STEM or outdoors. Let's see if they've added the outdoor ones here. Wouldn't that be cool? No, I think all of those were there before. But you see it does have the archery and the outdoor apprentice. And isn't primitive camper the one from this year? So these are the 3 voices count badges that have just been added in the last 2+ years. And then these are the pre-existing. And then as the outdoor journey comes up, you'll have more. And I believe the journey awards are the same shape as the badges on this one. If we add this, let's just see on STEM if they've added any of that stuff. And they have not, because these were pre-existing as well. So the Badge Explorer is still a great option, especially if not all of your girls have their Girl Guides to Girl Scouting. And again, it shows the 5 steps for them to earn it. If you're using the Girl's Guide to Girl Scouting, they'll give you options on the steps. And I was just talking to somebody recently, and she said she just realized that you don't have to. No, Sonia just asked, do the cadets not have new badges yet? No, they don't. But those PDFs that are coming the second half of the month, they have outdoor badges and the journey associated with them, I'm told. So I being a Navy wife, I don't believe things until they happen. So I'm a little skeptical, but that's what GSUSA has published. So we got our fingers crossed. We're looking forward to it. And as soon as they come out, I'm going to be blasting it all over the place because I get excited with new adventures. So yeah, with these 5 steps, these are things that maybe your girls will come up with activities to do, or you can use the activities that are in the Girls Guide to Girl Scouting. And, you know, the trick is not to decorate our vest. The trick is to really get something out of these adventures. So exploring oops and wow moments and digging into stories of ouch and repair some hurt if necessary. So this is Netiquette is really looking at those relationships that we have and build via virtual means, social media. And, you know, many of us are on Facebook or Instagram. I know my kids are certainly on both of those, but they're also on Twitter and they're on Snapchat, and I don't know all the things they're on, but they're all legally adults, and so I don't need to know anymore, right? It'll be interesting for you working with the girls, especially at the cadet level, where, you know, 13 and a half is where they're suddenly old enough that they can legally, whatever, I don't know, honestly, join those different social media sites. So it could be a time to have some discussion about, what do you think about these? And obviously the Netiquette badge goes right along with the social media, or with the, isn't it just called media journey? So the girls can get a nice rich experience with all of those things too. The one thing about the Badge Explorer is it does not list the journeys. It does not have the journey information on it. So you'll want to do some collaborative exploration with those, because as I mentioned, the badges complement the journeys and the journeys can complement the badges. Wherever the interest starts, build the other direction so that the girls can bring the information together and do a lot of synthesizing to give themselves a rich context to learn in and to explore. What else for overview stuff? Those of you in the room, do you have any thoughts, questions, observations? Have you poked around in the volunteer toolkit at all yet, or played with the Badge Explorer, looked at the badges? And Phil, welcome to unmute yourself.
I was wondering, is there an overview, or when you print or download from the volunteer toolkit the newer badges that there aren't paper copies to look and read?
Right.
It downloads the whole session, doesn't it?
Yes, in fact, I just clicked on that robotics one, and so let's go and look at it. That's a great question. What you see here is the meeting aids, and it has the material list, the glossary, this personal innovations. So these would be observations that the girls would make as they're doing their robotics activity. I thought that it had, well, so it has, you know, some of the activity thing. I thought it had an overview of the whole thing, but if you do the meeting overview, it gives you, these are all the things that we're going to be doing in the meeting, and breaks it down a little bit and gives you ideas of how to enhance it Then I should always know. You should always right click and open in a new window. And then the activity plan is where they give you as much as a script. So if you want as much as a script, and this is awesome for folks who feel uncomfortable with the topic that the girls are working on. Is anyone else having difficulties with their 2017-18 calendar in BTK? Okay, I'll look at that in just a second. It tells you, in your groups, play 20 questions. So one of you should choose a person, a place, or thing, and the others have 20 chances to ask yes or no questions to guess what it could be. Do you think you can guess what your fellow junior chose? So, it gives you literally what to say to get the girls thinking in terms of this activity. And then you'd move into the second activity of designing intelligence. And I don't know why the flag ceremony was in the middle of that, but I'm going to say that they've got a plan. Today we're going to start designing the robots badge, the Designing Robots badge, and robots have programs that act like their brain. And so it gives you things to say, or if you feel comfortable with it and you're already familiar with it, it can kind of give you a sense of where they're going. Because honestly, if I read across and said these algorithms are coded, I would be thrown back initially. Because I think of algorithms as my Algebra 2 class in high school, which I could do, but I would want to go back and look at it a little bit. And I don't know that I could clearly explain what an algorithm is without looking it up. So you don't save the script until the day of the meeting, but read through it. And if you hit some words and you think, I'm not sure about that, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, then it will give you a chance to look it up. So that you do explain it well and correctly. And then it tells you what materials you need, and it gives you some steps as well as some questions that you can ask the girls to help process it, and then some more scripting to say. So, depending on how much support you need, they've really gone through with these activity plans to think, okay, if you walked in off the street and you knew nothing about this topic, and you wanted to do this activity with the girls, you could follow this word for word. Or if you have some activity, you're going to veer from it somewhat to make it your own. So there's that. Now I want to address something in the chat because I want to make sure we're taking care of people. So as I scroll up, we had a person in the Facebook volunteer swap, the GSME volunteer swap, ask if anyone else is having difficulties building their 2017-18 calendar in the volunteer toolkit. And Tammy, you've said I'm having this problem also. What problem specifically? Because there's a lot to building a 2017-18 calendar. So can you open up your mic and flesh it out for me a little bit?
Mine always says that it's beyond the date. I can't build anything after September 1st.
Really?
Yeah, any meeting after October 1st. Any meeting after October 1st, I can't build.
Huh. I'm just gonna. I can't do it with that. I'll do it with the brownies. Let's just have a start date for us because we have not picked a date. So if our start date is say September 27th, update the calendar.
And then you put in weekly, yeah. Wait a minute, go back there.
Yeah, mine went to October 25th, December 6th, December 20th.
Okay, try a senior one. That's who I'm working with.
I don't have a senior one, but I can try a cadet one. So
okay.
Specify dates and locations, and we're going to change our start date to
a Sunday.
You want it on a Sunday? Start it with October 1st. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, see?
Okay, I'll put in a ticket on that too. They love me because now that I'm learning how to put in tickets, they're super excited about it. Yeah, that's not supposed to be happening either. So good.
I'm not sure.
Something.
It might not be the same problem Bethany's having, but that's the one I'm having.
I was thinking that her girls were younger, but I'll check in with her. Good. I appreciate your pointing that out. Anything else? Because we've hit the top of the hour. But next week, we're actually going to take Daisy and Brownie activities and do a couple of them. And so I'm going to have to figure out how to aim my camera I should not make this promise because I'm also going to be in Augusta. So we're going to have something about daisies and brownies and the new materials, and it'll be more specific than today. Today was really just looking at the broad overview, but I want to look at some specifics next week. And if there are any daisy brownie troops out there, volunteers who've been thinking about some of the activities and how you want to do it, please call in or send an email about what you're doing, because I'd love to share real live troop thoughts and ideas and perspectives on all of these things, because it's going to be a lot more interesting than just the Dawn Show. So thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. If you find you have questions or concerns or whatever about the Volunteer Toolkit or anything Girl Scouts, please stick it right there in the comments or shoot me an email. Again, at learn@gsmaine.org. It's the easiest email address to put in. And have a great day.